Well, hello, glorious people of the interwebs, and welcome back to Red Dead Online. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and today we're going to be doing something that we haven't done in a while, and let's do one of these podcast-style videos where we discuss the future of Red Dead Online, because Rockstar has done some new interviews, and finally has actually done an official mention of the issue of animal spawns within Red Dead Online. It's a Christmas freaking miracle. So Rockstar finally acknowledged that there is in fact an issue with animal spawns and that they will be working on fixing this, and hopefully we'll be having a fix here shortly, if not already. I've heard some reports from players that animal spawns have been a lot better, and I gotta say, already, just checking this out, we got 20 people in this particular session, and it does seem to have actual animals in it, which is really nice. We are playing on the PC. Stadia has been working perfectly for me for animal spawns. I will have to test it out on the PlayStation as well, but I can tell already, maybe, we'll see. We're going to be running around hunting just to kind of see how the animal spawns are doing, since Rockstar has acknowledged this, and there's been lots of server downtime and stuff like that, hopefully with them doing some behind-the-scenes fixes. But regardless, that is the first good news that we've got for Red Dead Online. Having Rockstar communicate with us and actually, you know, acknowledging the issues with the game is is nice to see, especially after a year. So, you know, cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we'll have some good fixes for animal spawns and just general fixes across the game that have been plaguing the game since beta. Hopefully 2020 we'll see some resolutions to a lot of this stuff. But I did want to mention that right off the bat, because I know I get spammed with thousands of comments a day. Well, maybe not a day. Every 2 days probably would be 1,000 comments of animal spawns being broken. And I know how bad it can get, ladies and gentlemen. It can get really bad. But, oh, it looks like we're not getting anything over here. Now, there is one trick that I want to mention, that when you are hunting, the game does not like to spawn anything in front of you. So an old trick that works not only in online but in single player is to look away from where you're going, or even open up your map. So if you open up your map, it'll cause animals to spawn around you. So if you're struggling finding something, or you don't really feel like running around and you kind of just want to like AFK hunt, like where you want to watch TV and maybe hunt at the same time, you can just open up your map for a second, and sometimes by the time you turn around, it sometimes takes a few minutes, animals will have started spawning behind you. I was really hoping that would work right off the bat there, but I don't want to spend too much time. It usually takes like a minute or two of being turned away from where you want to hunt for animals to spawn, but it does in fact work. And it used to actually force spawn hideouts and stuff like that back in the day, but I don't think that works anymore. It doesn't seem like we've got any more animals around here. But we do have a new article that Rockstar did an interview with, discussing the future of Red Dead Online, and some of this is really exciting, and it's nice to see that Rockstar is really thinking outside of the box with some of their future content, and that's what we're going to discuss the most in this particular video. So the article that we're going to be going over was an interview from Polygon with Rockstar Games that was released on February 5th, 2020. Now, the nice thing about this particular article is every time Rockstar does an article or an interview, it typically coincides with an update coming within about a month or a month and a half. At least if that kind of rotation holds true, we should be getting the next update mid-March to end of March. So not too much longer for the next content update, but this interview does go over the Moonshiners update as well as things that they have planned for the future, and I will leave it linked down in the description below. Now, Rockstar does state that they knew the community was keen to own a property. It's definitely been one of the things that has been requested the most, so they wanted to give them their first taste of that. A bar seemed like something we could have a lot of fun with and fit perfectly with the Moonshiners vibe, and we wanted to replicate the aspects of the saloon gameplay from single player while adding new interactive features specifically for online. And I do think that they did a really good job with the Moonshiners update. Aside from all of the glitches and bad things that was added with the update, the Moonshiners is definitely the best role that's been added so far. It came with its own story. It came with the first property that we get to own. I know we can't really decorate it too crazily. I do wish that Rockstar would eventually incorporate a better decoration system into the game, because not only could it allow players to kind of differentiate themselves, but it could offer ways for them to make more money as well, because just offering 3 different generic options to choose from is quite frankly a little lame. There's plenty of games that I play where you can Monster Hunter World, you can decorate every little piece of your room in there, and I hope Rockstar does that in the future with like even collectibles that you collect with the collector. You can like put them, like your prized collections inside of like a property that you own would be really nice. There's definitely a lot of improvements I'd like to see to the properties, but the saloon was definitely a magnificent addition to the Moonshiners update, and definitely adds some nice roleplay ability to the game. And being able to invite your friends or even strangers down in there to get drunk and play with a band and slap each other is quite a bit of fun. Now, we all know what came in the Moonshiners update, but we do want to talk about what's coming in the future. So there's definitely room for more roles. They've already mentioned that these 4 are just like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to roles that are going to be coming for Red Dead Online. And there's a lot of additional roles they want to introduce, which touch on features we haven't explored yet in Red Dead Online. We are still very much in the formative stages of delivering an array of roles and gameplay types within those roles. So it's definitely nice to see that they realize that just replicating the same gameplay mechanics and putting a new role name to it isn't going to really be successful long term. Well, it will obviously bring players back. Having those new types of gameplay types within the roles is definitely going to be way more entertaining for the player base and keeping people playing a lot longer. So they go on to say that they'd love to keep adding new collections and additional variety to collector gameplay, which will be really nice to spice things up a little bit with the collector, eventually adding the next step, much in the same way that Moonshiner is the evolution of the trader. One idea they really want to explore is the idea of posse members each finding a distinctly different part of an item that, when brought together, forms the collectible and you can log in your collection, which I think is a really great way for posses to be able to interact, because right now, and I've been saying this since the beta, there really needs to be more of a cohesive way to play with your posse. They definitely added, the stew pot where posse members can add to that. The trader role, they can help donate to the trader and you guys share profits that way. So anything they can do to improve the posse gameplay, I think is really going to help out Red Dead Online. And having this idea for the collector where they collect different pieces of a puzzle and bring it together and you all make money from that is honestly a really cool idea to me. Obviously, it'll probably get stale after doing it like 100 times, but having different things to do with the posse and being able to really share your experience together and feel like a gang would be really nice, especially being able to like decorate different parts of a property, which we're going to get into here in a second, because this is the really best part of this article. So property owners have more to look forward to as well. Some of the roles would let us introduce more feature-rich businesses and even communal spaces that players can gather and meet up socially, lone wolves and full posses. Maybe even let each player own a part of such a space. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret this, but it's definitely exciting to think that at some point in time, we'll be able to buy maybe like a large building that our posses can decorate differently, kind of like how the camp system works, where it now grows dynamically depending on how many people you have in your posse, and then as that grows, different tents will show up depending on what member of that posse has selected a tent. So like if one person has the bounty hunting tent, that'll show up. If another one has the collector, that'll show up. And it'll be really nice to have like maybe like a large building with different areas of it decorated in ways that your posse members like, and you can explore and interact with things that way. I think it would be a really cool thing to have in the game. Anything to really bring not only free roam together and be a little bit more exciting, but also the posse gameplay, because quite frankly that's the most fun that I have in the game, is when I'm playing with members in the game and interacting with the posse, and anything to make that a little bit more interesting and more immersive is definitely going to help Red Dead Online. So we definitely know we're going to be getting new roles soon. We're probably going to be getting posses. I don't think it's going to come, not posses, properties, new properties. I don't think the new properties are coming in the next update, but it's probably going to come within 2020. They've been discussing properties a lot in these interviews, so it's definitely something they're working on, but probably do not want to abandon the camp system yet. And they've mentioned that in the previous interview, that they want to grow the camp system a little bit more, and they've spent a lot of time trying to fix the camp system as well. So I don't anticipate a full replacement of that coming yet, but I wouldn't be surprised that if, as roles progress, we get more of these properties that don't fully replace the camp, but at least provide extra immersion within the roles. But some good things coming in the future, it looks like. Animal spawns being probably one of the best things, because a world as beautiful as Red Dead Online with nothing, not even NPCs wandering around in it, is kind of lame. So seeing that get fixed, adding new roles, new properties, new ways to interact with the posses are going to be all great additions. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how Red Dead Online progresses through 2020. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to slap that like button, and I'll see you all in the next one.